Hey, what's up? What's up? It is Thursday, August 21st, 2025. Back school night was awesome. Make sure to pause the screen, get all this written down. Again, pause the screen, get all this written down for your agenda, and then we're moving on. Okay, I did just want to check in with you guys. Obviously, you can't say anything here, but hopefully the soccer tryouts or the volleyball tryouts, hopefully they were good, and you guys had an awesome time. I heard that the soccer tryouts were the best that they've ever had, right? So that's what I heard the coach say, so really awesome time. I did just want to give a quick shout out. If you are thinking about going to Washington, D.C., I went on the trip last year. Totally amazing time. We had a great time, and it went by so fast. We were there for a week. But see Mr. Inman, again, see Mr. Inman if you guys are wanting to go on the Washington, D.C. trip, or if you're even thinking about it. Don't be like Mr. Farr, who literally did not ask his parents, right? I didn't even ask my parents to see if I could go. So anyway, word of attendance, you guys already know, but if you're online, I marked you absent. So yeah, there we go. All right, let's just keep it pushing. Here we are right here. Some people were asking about this. I did have this in yesterday's video, so I'm not going to go over it so much. So you can watch yesterday's video if you want a complete breakdown of this assignment. But again, hold control and then that slide presenter button up there. And then that is how you can take a screenshot. So we're going to talk about that assignment right now. Is make sure that you take the screenshot. That's what we got right there. And then make sure you've made your Google Drive folder. So all of your Google Drive folders must be seen, and it must be the whole screen. So just like here, this is a screenshot of the entire screen. That's what you got to submit. And then you're just going to go ahead and submit that in right to Canvas. So the assignment's called How to Create Folders in Google Drive, and that's where you're going to submit that screenshot in. So in class, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to the people who have not turned in their scientists. So if you haven't turned in your scientists yet, please get that done ASAP, because Mr. Farr is going to start grading those today. And then create the Google Drive folders, that is also due, guess what, today. So the scientist was due yesterday. So make sure to get that in if for some reason you don't have it in. And then also the Google Drive folders, though, that is due today. So make sure to get that screenshot taken. If you need details on how to complete that assignment, please go into Canvas and look at those. Also, yesterday's video goes over the Google Drive folders in detail. All right, next. Let's talk about Canvas, because we talked a little bit about it yesterday, but all the links weren't working. So now that they are all working, let's just click in there, go to the Help Center, right? Boom, right here. And this is where you can get the agenda slides, and the agenda slides should be working now. So you should click that, should open it up, and it should have all the agenda slides. Right after I finish this video, I will update the slides for Thursday, right? So these are all the slides from yesterday. All right, cool. So we're going to close that. We'll go back to the Help Center. Boom. And then also right here you have the lessons video. So lessons video, boom. So you can click that. That should open up this, and then you'll just click, and so 2 clicks, boom, you're already going to be at the playlist. And this is yesterday's lesson video. And as soon as I finish this video, it will be right here. All right, cool. So I'm just going to go and close that. And again, when you're navigating, you can navigate right back here. So let's just go back to modules. Okay. We're going to go ahead and shrink down the Help Center. By the way, I have some students who are going to be gone next week, because they already were telling me this is where you should be at, modules, and then check to see the assignments in there, get that done, and then the agenda slides, and then also the videos, right, the lesson videos. Boom. So this is the week that we're in right here. And what the scientists look like, journal check number 1, and how to create Google Drive folders. I usually will put the assignments on the day that we start them, not the day that they do, so that way you can kind of have an idea of where we're going. So we have the syllabus scavenger hunt today. Not sure we're going to actually get to that. We'll probably mainly be working on that tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and move it down. Okay, that's everything about how to kind of navigate Canvas. You guys have been in there for a while, so this should not be too much new to you. Just where did I format things, right? All right, let's go ahead and keep it pushing. Now, on your scientific journal, and I'm gonna I want you to do this, okay? Now, Mr. Farr has labels in class if you really need one. If not, get yourself a Sharpie of some sort, right? And then right on the front, you should write in pencil. So the 3 things that you're gonna want on there is scientific journal, first and last name, and what period you're in. So again, scientific journal, first and last name, and then what period are you in. get those 3 things on the front of your journal, okay? Again, on the front of your journal. Pause the screen if you need to take time to do that. No big deal, okay? I'm going to keep moving forward if it lets me. Now, inside of the journal, this is the way that it should be laid out. And if you look, they did entry activity number 6. Now, I'm okay with you either labeling it entry activity or EA number 6. Either way, not a big deal to Mr. Farr. And here, I'll just show you an example. At the top, you just want to put EA number 6. I am totally good with you labeling it like that. Not a big deal at all. Either way. So entry activity, and it was 6, 7. So how many entry activities on there? There's 2. So they did their first entry activity, right? 1, and then they wrote all their sentences out, and then 2, right? And then wrote all their sentences. Then they just drew a line. Again, drew a line, and then down here, entry activity number 7, and then you start there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and show that big. So it would be just like this. It's exactly how it should be. So again, just draw a line to separate the entry activities or whatever notes or anything else we have. And I'm going to show you guys some examples of how that is done. So again, you see here we did a lab and then drew a line and then did an entry activity at the bottom. You want to fill up the page as much as possible, okay? So if 80% of the page is full, then you've done a good job. 80% or more. You want to fill up the page, again, as much as possible. Here's another example where we took some notes and we were drawing in some things. Then they just drew a line and then did an entry activity right below it. Now, right here, they wrote the riddle, but that was their own choice. You never actually have to write the riddle, okay? So here's also the entry activity right here. Entry activity right here. And again, above, they took notes above that. Okay, so these are just some examples. Remember this. Did you really just ask if you have to write in complete sentences? The answer is yes. Always write in complete sentences unless Mr. Farr tells you it's okay. Sometimes it'll be a drawing. Sometimes it'll be like make a list. But always write complete sentences, okay? Always write complete sentences. I just changed that because the way that it sounds was a little bit whatever. So always write complete sentences unless Mr. Farr tells you it's okay. So always write complete sentences, okay? Cool. Now, here is the first practice. I'm going to go ahead and get myself out the way. So couple things on here is number 1. Again, you can write entry activity or you can write EA, whichever one you like. You never have to write the question down. Never have to write the question. Only write the answer. I usually will give some sentence starters to help you start to write complete sentences, okay? So what is Mr. Farr's biggest pet peeve? What is the most important expectation of Mr. Farr's class? Remember the memes. And then the riddle is right here. Try and see if you can solve the riddle. Again, you do not have to write the riddle down. Only the answer. You do not have to write the question or the answer, right? Not the answer, or the riddle down. And again, it should look like this. Here, I'll show you one more time. Is you should say entry activity number 1, then your first sentence answer should go here, then your second sentence answer should go here, and then the next day we'll just draw a line and then come with the next entry activity. So that's how it should look. So I'm going to say pause the screen, get this done. Again, pause the screen, get this done, and then we will go from there. Did you get everything done there? Did you pause the screen? Okay, so again, pause the screen, get that done. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what is Mr. Farr's biggest pet peeve? Let's talk about that. If you're like, I didn't know it, at least do the sentence starter, and then we'll fill in the answers. Mr. Farr's biggest pet peeve is, right? My biggest pet peeve is when I have to continue to explain something after I've already explained it. And what I mean by that is repeating myself because someone was not listening. Now, if you're like, yo, I didn't understand this one part, can you answer that? Boom, that's cool. If you're like, the way you explained it was not super clear, can you maybe give us a different example? Totally can do that. However, if you just want me to say the whole thing again, Mr. Farr is not about that life. Please make sure that you're listening and then ask questions that are clarifying questions so that way I know exactly where you need me to clarify. I am totally good with that, okay? And also you might help me learn a new way to explain something that might be better than the way I was explaining it before. Now, let's go to this next thing. What is the most important expectation in Mr. Farr's class? And hopefully you got this, you know this. but it is about respect. And it's this idea that respect goes both ways, right? That you should respect your teacher, you should respect the other students, but then also put some respect on your name and on your family's name, okay? How can you go 10 days without sleep? How can you go 10 days without sleep? Just sleep at night. Don't sleep during the day. You just sleep at night. Okay, I don't know if that was a good one. All right, let's just keep it moving. All right, so the syllabus is due Friday. Again, the syllabus is due Friday. We'll look inside, and when I mean the syllabus, I mean get it signed. If you get it signed and brought back on Friday, you will get extra credit. It will be due probably no later than next Tuesday. That's when it will be due, and it will be a grade, but you can get extra credit if you turn it in on this Friday. That's tomorrow. So I'm giving out the syllabus, okay? So now what I want people to do, and you know what? That's as far as we're going to get. If you already look inside there, the syllabus scavenger hunt is already open. So there's instructions and everything is there for you. There's also video instructions. So you guys can go take a look at that if you want to get it started. But in class, we're not going to have time for this. So this is as far as we are going to go for today. All right, y'all. Peace. Wait. I almost forgot. I am smarter than I think. You know what it is. Repeat after me. I am smarter than I think. I am braver than I seem. I'm stronger than I feel, and I can do difficult things. I believe in you guys. All right. Peace.